Hello and welcome to the Humanity of Sales, where purpose meets profit. We have a fun show for you today. Our guest is Sandy Hendrick. He's a native of Conway, South Carolina, right here. He's attended Coastal Carolina University, graduated with a degree in business administration. He's currently the marketing manager at HTC and has enjoyed 25 years of service within the marketing department there. He has a passion for travel and playing tennis. He's married with 2 children. And let's dive in and ask Sandy some questions. Sandy, at 25 years with HTC, that's outstanding. I guess you must like it there.
And so I love it here, Heather. I appreciate you having me on the show. Yeah, the culture here has definitely made it something that I've wanted to stick around for. And yeah, the mission of what we do is another thing that just makes it really fun and you want to be here.
Yeah. That's really important now when finding and keeping top talent is one of the biggest struggles that we have. To have a mission that draws people in and keeps them wanting to be there for so much time, that's important. So, I know that that might be one of the things, but what else would you say sets HTC apart from other providers?
So we live on a philosophy of three C's here. One being connected. We are an internet service provider, so connecting people to internet service definitely is one of it, but also connecting to people. We are here, we are local, so we like to connect with you. The other one is cooperative, as the second C. We are cooperative, so our goal is not about making a profit, but any profit we have is returned to our members. You'll hear me use that term a lot, members instead of customer because we don't have customers. They are members of ours. But the final C is community. So that's part of our mission statement. And again, that's what makes it so fun. We are able to help give back and improve the community that we serve.
I absolutely adore that you do that. And I heard about an initiative called helping the community with the play up of the HTC for that correlates there. So, do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
I would love to. The Helping the Community initiative was started when COVID hit several years ago. We had a lot of our business members, of course, being restaurants and other industries that were impacted. And we wanted to see what could we do. You even had the healthcare industry, of course, being everybody being worked really hard. So we sat down and came up with some ideas and really, what happened, one of the first ideas we had is we sent out our marketing team to various restaurants that were our members throughout the area, and we just bought gift cards. One, is a little way to help give back to those business members to help them during that time. But we could turn around and we did a lot of stuff on social media and giving those gift cards away, even asking members to share stories of how other people in the community were helping each other. So it just kind of a win-win and a feel good for everybody there. After that initial initiative, we did some other things. We partnered with a local produce company. That produce company was in charge of delivering produce to a lot of restaurants. So again, some of their business had dried up. They were trying to become innovative on what they could do during the COVID period. So we would come in and they started doing boxes of produce that people could come and pick up, fresh produce. We would have days that we would actually supplement or cover half the cost of those produce boxes for people coming in. Again, just a way to help the community. We love that effort so much that we have coined that now, the helping the community. And we try to make a monthly effort out of that, of what we can do to give back and just be seen. Sometimes it's as simple as delivering cookies to certain healthcare facilities.
Hmm. When you're telling this, there's a couple of things that stand out. One is that you're looking at it holistically, like how can we utilize our members with these gift cards to give back to other members, and how can we make these connections and do the right thing in multiple ways? It seems very holistic to me. And I know that you and I mentioned in a previous conversation that you do spend a good portion of your budget on sponsorships and donations like this because it's doing the right thing, but you also get a value in return, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
100%. So you mentioned the term sponsorship and donation. So one, again, going back to being a cooperative, if we make a profit, we return that. And I mentioned capital credits. It goes back to our members. So our goal is not as a big corporation to make a profit that we're worried about shareholders. So on a donation side, sometimes if we're just giving money away, we could have our members, asking why that's not coming back to them. So what we're able to do then is we like to give in sponsorships. So of course the sponsorships returns of value to us while allowing us to also give to the various charities and entities that are out there. And over the last 5 years, the benefit of being able to do the sponsorships is when you see the value in return, your budget continues to grow. So as the budget grows, you can keep giving back more because that just, in our opinion, becomes a new extension of advertisement. In some cases, having the banner at the ball field of a local rec league is more important than having a billboard out there on a busy highway. So again, I would say that a large portion of our marketing budget is given in sponsorships because of that reason. It is just another form of advertisement.
You know, with a show called Humanity of Sales, where purpose meets profit, I love hearing things like that, that correlation between doing good and profitability. It's not bad to talk about them together. You're doing good things for everybody involved. And I absolutely love that. So we've been talking about some of the good things that you do for the community, some of the good things that you do for your members. Tell us a little bit more about how this relates for your employees.
That's a great question. So I always like to say that, everything is, a story. You want to know why. So we do all these things. We spend a lot of time internally trying to explain to our employees the why behind everything that we do. We've started several initiatives. I would say in the last 2 years, we have participated in person in more than 1 to 200 events per year.
Wow.
And again, we have a marketing department of 10 people. So while we're at a lot of those events, it takes a lot more than just 10 people to be expected to be at 100 to 200 events per year. We have all of our supervisors here at HTC volunteer at least once to twice per year to be at these events. So they're actually able to be out talking to members of the community. And we will get so much feedback from those supervisors on certain events that they attend. One, I can give you an example of, we had a day at the Grand Strand Miracle League. And the feedback that they shared, they said, can I work that event every year? They love it. So not only do they see the why, it's a feel good for them. So that's just one side. HTC in general is just very caring for our employees as well. But again, not having to work in a company that is worried about shareholders, but more about the community is just a great feeling.
That's fantastic. I feel like when I am talking to an organization that really gets it, like HTC does, they understand that when you give your employees the opportunity to go out into the community to make a difference, it touches their heart. And then that raises the morale, right? And it seeps just like negativity can seep into things, so can positive energy and this type of positive interaction and morale lifting. Do you agree?
Oh, 100%. So I think again, I'll stay on the why. This is a very open company. I'm internal and external, on educating employees on the why we do things, making sure the employees, when they're out there with our members, understand why we do this. We recently just sent some employees to the upstate to help some sister companies after the hurricane. And again, just the outpouring of support internal from us doing that and external. Again, we want to be here for everybody. And I think it's just built this culture where people understand it. They are positive. It's uplifting. Again, I'll probably say it multiple times throughout the show. Sharing that story and the why we do things is so important.
You know, I'm a fan of the story. So I'm so glad that you bring that up. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a very brief commercial break. And I'd like to have you think while we're at commercial, Sandy, on one of your favorite stories that has personally touched you and your heart. Would you be willing to tell it when we come back?
Of course.
Outstanding. Thank you. Listeners, we're just going to be about 30 seconds and then you come back and hear Sandy's story. Join us on the other side. Hello and welcome back to the Humanity of Sales, where purpose meets profit. We are back and we're talking today with Sandy Hendrick, who is at HTC. Now, Sandy, we were starting to talk before the break about the story, of how the givebacks that HTC does in the community has impacted your members, your employees. But I asked you before we left if there's a particular story that has impacted you. Did you come up with something?
So I've got one. I won't promise you it was the most emotional impacting story. But once I finish with the story, I think you will get a kick out of it and understand why it's probably one of my most memorable stories. So,
Okay.
um, again, going back to, we love community festivals. So, of course, throughout this area, there are a ton of opportunities. But right here in Conway, we've had Riverfest. At one point in time, it was called Round the Fourth. To the point, sometimes it was 2 days, since I've been here. My very first year working at HTC, as an intern, we were a major sponsor of the Riverfest. And what we sponsored was the Jello Jump. So we got the great idea of sponsoring it, which meant we would volunteer to help all the kids get into Jello and get out of the Jello. But the greatest idea we had was, since our logo and our colors are blue, we would dye the Jello blue. So our marketing group, literally the Wednesday before the event on Saturday, I would go up to Conway High School. We would take big trash can barrels and have big boxes of Jello mix, and we made the Jello and put it in the freezer. Of course, being the intern, the day of the event, I was assigned the task of getting all the kids out of the Jello. Um, I can only say that maybe for 2 or 3 days later, I still had blue arms from the blue Jello. So again, very memorable event, very fun. I will tell you, we are still a major sponsor of the Conway River Fest, but we are not the sponsor of the Jello Jump. Need to do new things now.
That's a great story, Sandy. And I just have this vision of you looking a little bit like a Smurf.
That it was blue Jello. Yes, I will just say, if you've ever been there, I will bless anybody that wants to take on the Jello jump from now on.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And speaking of the internship part of it, I know that you're big, you have a big internship program and you like partnering with students from high schools and things like that. Could you share a little bit about some of that?
That's great. I'm glad you asked. We have done, I'm going to say, for maybe the last 20 years, our HR department worked, to put together an internship program. They work, of course, with Coastal Carolina or Georgetown Tech, but we've actually have a lot of local students that will attend other universities, Clemson, Carolina. So we go out every year, before the summertime, send out trying to get interns, pretty much almost in every department. And those interns come in, will work the summer for us, get to gain the experience. On that side, of course, and particularly in marketing, one of the things I tell everybody on our interns is we expect as much out of them to learn as they learn from us. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I will promise you I'm not the smartest guy in the room. And marketing changes so much. Me trying to market to somebody my age is one thing versus understanding, how a college student comes in and sees different things. So we gain so much from these interns. I don't have the percentage here for me, but I would say throughout the 20 years, we have a high percentage of those interns that become full-time employees for us. So it is just a building block, to get these employees in here when you're looking to find good talent. Particularly, people that are local to the area and want to be here at a good company. So it's something that we're continuing. They're even talking about extending that to an internship program, along with a fellowship program, to even enhance that in the coming years. So lots that we're building on and some exciting things to come.
I am with you on that whole when you mentor, when you intern, you learn from each other. It is not a one-way street. It is a beautiful cycle. I have found it with everyone that I've ever mentored. They have given me just as much, if not more, than I have given them. So I absolutely love that you do that. Now, I can see when you're talking about what you may learn from them as it relates to marketing, but also I imagine that this type of a program is very helpful to get the students to understand that all of the different types of positions, like there's engineering, there's different groups, right? That we may not even realize are these opportunities right here in this area instead of having our students go somewhere else. There's so many opportunities right here that they could take advantage of. Do you find that that happens a lot once they learn about them, then they become much more interested?
That is 100%, one of the goals of doing this.
Mhm.
I will say the world we live in constantly has changed. Working here at HTC, with COVID, came the thing that's called remote work. And so you saw a lot of people, going 100% remote. We have become a lot more flexible at HTC, again, to try to attract some of that talent. But I'll go back on the intern side. What really helps there is a lot of people that are local that we can find. There's phenomenal talent here that are going off to school and learning, and particularly in professions such as engineering, the IT profession. A lot of those people will find jobs that they are remote. Those work for them. If we can find some great local talent that lives here in this area, hey, they may want to work a day or two remote, but they love being in the office just because they love being here. So again, one of the many benefits of this program is helping to find, that kind of stuff for us. And look, when I'm gone in 10 or 15 years, that there's still, lots of talent here that's up underneath us building this thing up.
That's important. That is so important. Some of the industries that I work with aren't thinking ahead that way, that we have to constantly, it's not just when we decide we need new talent, we go look for them. That constant initiation and integration of new talent into the organization is incredibly important. I wanted to just ask you about two more stories in particular. You can share whatever you like, but two that we were chatting about in the past struck me that our listeners might be interested in. Now, I know that you already mentioned the amazing work that you do with Grand Strand Miracle League, but you also have some buddies with the United Way Day of Caring. Do you do that still?
So we did that. That was recently. We just participated in that. Every year we will send out. I'm going to make a number up here, but somewhere 10 or more employees that will participate in the Day of Caring. United Way will also do the volunteer reading days. We send employees out to that. So we believe heavily in volunteering as well. So again, I mentioned the sponsorships earlier. Love to give money. That's great. Anybody can give money. We want to be there as well. So we want you to talk to us, ask us questions, learn things. We live in this community that we serve. So I would say we have 650 employees that all live right here in the areas that we serve. So being out there from an HTC perspective and volunteering is great. I would probably say that we've got another 200 at least of our employees that have been volunteering as coaches and mentors and everything else through various rec leagues and stuff. So I mean, it's just amazing the impact that they have made, and probably don't even know the impact that they've made.
You know, that's a great point. I find that ripple effect, right? So you throw a pebble in and it creates these ripples, and we don't always know. We may have an idea of the first round or the first ripple, but then when we impact someone and then they go out and impact someone else, and then there are people out there that you have impacted that will then come back around to become customers because of something that they heard that you did to help someone that they know. I have seen it over and over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. If I could jump in, if you don't mind, one thing I
Yes.
heard on that one time, and we kind of live for that philosophy. A lot of people sometimes won't do something because they don't think it makes a big enough impact. But what we heard and what we live by is do for one what you wish you could do for all.
Oh, I love that. Do for one what you wish you could do for all.
And exactly what you were just saying, hey, you've made that one impact, and then that's created the ripple effect that again, you may not realize how big it got, but it got a lot bigger.
Mm. That's fantastic. And I suspect it also applies with this next thing that I wanted you to talk about. I like cookies. I'm a big fan. I've been called a cookie monster. And so when you mentioned in our previous conversation about the cookies and your drivers and teachers, could you share that story? I loved it.
Sure. So that really became kind of a new extension of the helping the community after we did the gift cards. And again, while COVID was still going on, one of the areas we knew was really impacted was the medical field. And we have a lot of businesses in the medical profession that are our members. So we spent, days of sending some of our employees out. We bought numerous cookies. We partnered with some local bakeries and have cookies made up. We actually had some made with the HTC logo on them to get a little bit fancy. But we would just set up a table outside of some of the hospitals. And as the workers were coming and going, all we wanted to do was, share a little bit of, appreciation and hand them a cookie. We took that on to find that, again, a lot of people really love cookies. It's easy to, work with people and get a lot of them. So we've done all the way from teacher appreciation to deliver cookies to all the school teachers or the schools. We've taken it down, with bus drivers, just fire stations, police stations. Every month, again, we're just trying to find somebody out there that we can say, hey, thank you. We're not looking for anything in return other than just say, hey, we're here. When we say we're part of the community, we want you to understand that we are part of the community and we mean it. So, and cookies is a great way to share that.
I agree. Cookies is a great way to share that, Sandy. I just like to say thank you so much to you and to everyone at HTC for all that you're doing. We're coming to a close of our show. Is there any one last burning thing that you would like to share with our listeners today?
So I'll just want to end with this. So, one of the things that gave me this passion here, my dad used to be a police officer. He actually was the police chief in the city of Conway. And where I gained all this from, he told me that his style of policing was what he called community policing. And that meant he wanted to be out on the streets, walking and talking to people. Again, we're an internet company. We can sell you internet all day long. We want to sell internet. The competitor can sell you internet all day long too. Our goal is 100% to be different on who we are and what we're able to give back as well. So I'll finish it with, we hope when you ask not what is HTC and people respond as an internet company, that through this conversation, I can say who is HTC and you can tell a different story.
Thank you, Sandy. That's beautiful. It's totally in alignment with what we're doing here in my mission with the humanity of sales, where purpose meets profit.